Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
show, Bald and Bonkers, works out so well. But listen, things are chaotic in the world, so yes, we'd like to get a little goofy from time to time, but strange shit is happening. Things that are supposed to have such minuscule odds. Minuscule odds. You would have better odds in playing the lottery ticket and winning 10 times over than the odds of certain paranormal events taking place. Yet these things are happening, and they are happening more. So we need to have a discussion. We need to have an unfiltered, unbiased discussion and get as many people involved to realize, hey, something big is about to happen. And yes, the world is chaotic. We know. Again, that's why we act like total idiots. That's why we aren't afraid to show our true colors. But at the end of the day, you can't argue that perhaps we are on the verge of some of the greatest discoveries mankind has ever experienced.
And that is why we bring you the Bald and Bonkers Show.
Baby, you can get on my boat and make it rock, yeah.
Christopher, we have got to get you some freaking breast implants for your birthday tomorrow so we can actually get our guests to come in on time.
I know. That's terrible. Standing up in my birthday day. That's terrible. Where is Chris today? Do you know something? I'm going to use my psychic energy here, and I bet he's fell asleep. Right? And he's going to wake up in maybe about half an hour's time, and he's going to sit and he's going to look around about his room, and he's going to go, fuck, I had a show tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why
Chris.
I started putting that on this.
Chris.
If you follow him, start spamming him because.
Spam him, everyone. Spam him. I mean, look, where are all the people that gave us all the thumbs up?
I know, right?
Seriously.
Over 400 likes. And the show didn't even fucking start.
I know.
Wait, disappointing.
And look, here's Mike. There's Mike the Naked Bigfoot. And at least he didn't stand us up. At least he came to watch the show. See?
Yeah, I know.
Mike, the comedian, stood us up. He stood us up. Terrible. See that? We're only kidding on, guys. We're only
no. Let's let it fucking rip. Yeah, if it was a hot woman that stood us up,
I know.
Yeah, that would hurt. But
that
ugly ass guy. That's just insulting.
That's terrible, ladies and gentlemen. But it's Sunday night. Maybe he's had maybe the BBC have picked up the phone and says, "We need you, Chris. We need you in the Situation Room right now. We need you." What's that there? What's that? Sent Chris.
Sent Chris an SMS on his phone number. Okay, good, because I'm in the US.
I hope he's all right there. Because maybe
I really hope that this is not a situation where we're acting like total assholes and poor guy's been injured or something. You know, knock on wood. If that is the case, I am so sorry.
Look at that. The Mercedes joined into the action here and it's talking away to me.
Oh, Lordy.
It's found what in the web? What have you found in the web?
Oh, the damn robots are.
That's that. It's the rise of the machines. It's the volumes all the way down to nothing. It's the rise of the machines. It's coming. Hello, Coffin Crew. How are you, my dear friend? But I just don't know. It's my birthday tomorrow too. I was fairly looking forward to this.
Stood up on the day before your birthday.
Tear coming out, you know. So what we got to talk about until he comes on or until he decides, because we've got an hour to waste, you know. I mean, we could invite people on if they want to come on, you know. I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah, I'd be down for that, you know. finally get to meet this coughing crew, this sexy man that Sherry drools over when she's not thinking about other men.
Honestly, coughing. Sherry's always talking about. It's always good things, Always good things, Sherry's getting ready to strangle me. What?
Yep, we're gonna be put in jars. I've still got to put that on merch.
What? Sherry's got to put you in a jar?
Yeah, we'll get like a picture of Sherry's eyes, make it look like a Cheshire cat. Why is my camera going blurry?
Oh, look. We've got a message here for PWI, Spiritual Investigators. Excuse me, but he's my fella. There you go.
Chris, I didn't know you flied that way.
What's that? What's that? Mike the Naked Bigfoot. What's that?
Quoting Mr. Garrison from South. Oh my god.
I tell you what, it's meant to be. I tell you what, Mike, come in if you want, man. Come in and you can help us interview this guy when he comes in. There's the invite.
Again, like I was saying, I need to make some. I need to get a picture of like Sherry's eyes and have 2 jars with our heads in it. Put that on merch.
You need a big jar.
Yeah, I know.
One of the ones that they make like the moonshine in, one of the big massive jars. In the old-fashioned sweetie shops, you used to get like the mint humbugs and stuff like that. But that's before your time, obviously. Michael came up talking about. What's that?
Well, Sherry agrees to the idea. Oh dear.
Well, Sherry, you're welcome to come in if you want while we're waiting our guests. Mike, you're welcome to come in. Coffin, you're welcome to come in. What's that? If that's PIW.
Oh lordy! Well, I think we instigated something, Chris.
What have we done now? What is it? What are they talking about in the chat?
We're men making fun of women. We're men. That's what we did. We're born.
We did that, Mike. We need you here, Mike. Get out here the now. Bring your crucifix and your holy water to splash on them. Mike will protect us. Mike will protect us. He's a voodoo master. He's got like strange assortments, strange. Mike's got weird jarsy things. Mike's an interesting guy. You're frozen. You know what that is? Sherry is dancing round about an altar as we speak, putting potions into a bubbling cauldron, and you're in it. That's it. You've done it now. That's it.
I've done it now.
What's that? PW. Look at that. Look, it just shows you the. Look at that for Sherry. Coffin is mine.
It's confirmed. Sherry is a vampire.
Yeah, that's that. But anyway, while we're waiting our comedian friend, how's your day been going, Dakota?
Oh, good. I've been. Some people may know I've been doing gaming. Oh shit!
Oh no! We're doomed. We're doomed.
Don't make me bloody bite you both.
Whoa!
Look, you need to put Dakota in a jar. We need a big jar. You get them in there somehow. You jack them in.
And no, I'm not Mama D, but I know who you are on about, who she is. No, definitely. I'm Sherry, by the way, not Mama D. It says it here on the post bit,
Yes, you see, that's that. You can bring. Coffin can come in if you want. We might as well have everybody in, So one of the nights.
Come on,
come on,
come on.
Come on, Coffin.
Don't make my fangs come out.
I tell you what, we'll have a treat for you. Mike the Naked Bigfoot can join us too.
Yeah, that'd be
one
awesome.
night. Mike will tell us some strange tales about jars and things you can do with them.
Oh, I don't know how the hell we have not gotten flagged for some of the things.
I'm hoping that he's all right, because normally, like, I know Chris is known to be late, but
yeah, I know.
Sometimes not this late, so something's got to come up, or like
I think there's something. Well, he's no clicked on his messenger thing.
No, he hasn't. I've messaged him several times. I've also messaged Alison, and I've not heard anything from Alison either, which is weird because Alison would normally get back to me. So
Yeah, hopefully he's okay then.
Well, if he's there, hopefully he's okay. Right, we can get him on again another time. What's that? Tried ring, Chris, and the phone is off. Now that's strange. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Hopefully he's all right. In all seriousness.
But Mike, if you're watching this, come and join us. Come, in fact, wait a minute, I'll send this out to Mike.
Mike!
Mike! It's his man, the man himself.
So where is Captain Doodlebug at?
That's a good question.
Can you use your psychic powers? I don't know where he's went. You'll need to entertain us tonight, Mike. Do you know any good jokes? Especially dirty ones.
Well, I know a lot of dirty jokes. I don't know a lot of dirty jokes. Well, I hope wherever dude is at, he's okay. So.
So do I.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just...
Hold on. Wait. We got... Chris had problems with TikTok today. People reporting his account for no reason. Oh.
He may be having some troubles and stuff.
Oh. Yeah.
He's been getting a lot of that stuff recently.
Why do you...
really bad.
This is what annoys me about TikTok and the entire world and social. Why is there so many trolls? What is it with trolls? Why can't you just leave you alone?
Yeah.
I don't call them trolls anymore. I call them parasites.
Well, here's the thing, and this might be a mindset that Chris should probably acknowledge, is that if you start getting people to people reporting it for absolutely no reason on TikTok of all places, that's ultimately considered a rite of passage these days. It happens to so many people.
Yeah.
People don't fuck with me on social media, so I feel left out all the time.
But the reason for that, Mike, is they know how powerful you are. You're like Gandalf. They don't want to get near you.
I think I give off a really bad vibe for people that might be thinking about fucking with me. But I don't get it. I mean, I actually used to advertise, if you want to troll me, you have my permission to troll me. And nobody ever took me up on it because I was getting pissed off because nobody would fuck with me. Nobody would get into Nobody got into war of words with me. Nobody reported me. And for those who are familiar with my YouTube channel, there's plenty of reporting.
But I don't get some shows that you've done that's quite interesting.
Yeah, nobody's ever
loved to reference the Sex and the Paranormal.
Sex and the Paranormal one is by far. I mean, I'm still waiting on my cease and desist letter from that episode from Zach Bagans. So.
Do you know something? We need to arrange a meeting for Zach Bagans and Mike the Naked Bigfoot.
Oh my God.
I think that'd be awesome.
Any idea how apocalyptically bad that would be if I ever came face to face with that douche? The world would implode.
Wow. Oh my God! I can't.
What the hell?
He's put my face. He's put my face in a. Play that again. Let's see this. Come on, Mike was getting interested there.
I think my other eye just went blind.
That looks like Mike.
It does kind of make you look like Mike. Dude in the cowboy hat and the bikini dancing about.
I've done
something for this guy's birthday.
I've done much worse.
Have you? I tell you what, Mike. Go and cheer me up saying it's my birthday tomorrow. Tell us one of your terrible tales.
Oh, happy birthday, Chris! I had no idea it was your birthday. Is it a round? Is it a round or an odd number?
41.
Odd number. That's not good.
Oh, cheers. I'm just going to dig my grave today.
All right. Nice knowing you, Chris.
Just hide under your bed for the next 48 hours.
Oh my God. I tell you what, Mike. Do you have any dark tales to do with the birthdays or things like that? I bet you do. Come on.
Well, what I could tell you is a story, and I don't know why it just popped in my head. But when my family, when they left out of the mountains and took me with them, and I actually had to go to school then. they had a farm that was really closely adjacent to another farm, well-known family that was there. And I went wandering in the woods and I found this old tree that I called a dead tree. It was what was left of was a big stump. And I had a box that my grandfather had given me, and it was filled with all kinds of explosives.
It's a bullet.
Well, he like blasting caps and stuff like that. For those who are not familiar, blasting caps are like little mini pieces of dynamite, which you don't have access to anymore. But back in those days, it was easy to come by. Well, you have to remember, up in the mountains, we didn't have indoor plumbing. So every time you had to have a new outhouse, you either had to dig it out by hand, or if you had somebody had access to blasting caps, you'd blow a hole in the ground to build a new outhouse on. So,
yeah.
And that's true for a lot of people that still live up there. But I remembered it was a relatively new farm too. And I remember my grandmother telling me that you should always sanctify a place that you go to for the first time. And me being the little smart ass, because I'd seen her do it many times with fire, and she always lit trees on fire, or old trees or dead trees. I went there and I filled the stump. I set everything up for the sanctification from what I remembered my grandmother doing. I set everything up, and I packed that stump with black powder and blasting caps.
Wow.
Now, this was right beside, because the other family, they raised wheat and soybeans. And they had a huge field of dry wheat that was ready to be harvested. And it was really close to where the land was that close. The fence was very close to that stump. And I blew a crater in the ground when I set that thing off. It was fucking amazing. I lost the ability to hear for like 2 weeks after doing that. Well, that wasn't the worst thing that happened. It set that field on fire. The wheat field on fire. But
oh my god.
The thing is, then the fire spread. It spread its way to the top of the closest hill, which is where the farmhouse was for that family. It burned down all their outbuildings, the fire did, and it partially burnt down the house they lived in. So,
oh my god, mate.
Well, they never knew it was me. It was never proven that it was me, but they ended up moving off of that property and selling that property really cheap, and my family bought it. So
that's handy.
It was a happy ending. We bought that property afterwards. So
wow.
Oh, there you go. At least you got it for a reduced price, you know.
Oh, got it for a damn good price, actually.
Oh my god. Oh, I would just like to welcome Sherry's. Is it man into the room? Cryptid, how are you?
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, fine. We're discussing things with Mike. Mike's telling us a story, and Mike's stories are amazing, you know.
Well, this wasn't too terrifying. I just blew a crater in the field. Lit a field on fire, burned down an entire family's house.
I know exactly what you're talking about with blasting caps and stuff like that when I'm in my younger days, you know.
People understand that when you were way back when, we had access to everything at the hardware store. You could buy anything. You could buy any poison you wanted. You could buy any explosive you wanted. I mean,
it's definitely not like that these days.
She's Sherry in Dakota, and Cryptid. I don't know what age you're, Cryptid, but you're in the kind of younger age group. I'm 41, obviously tomorrow. Mike's will be obviously older than me a wee bit. I can remember in the 80s. I can remember the 80s and stuff like that. I can remember. Oh god, it was different then. See, when you were a kid playing, you could get away with stuff. I used to run about with an air pistol. I had an air rifle.
It was so easy to get stuff back then. Oh.
Lighting fires. Oh my god, that was my speciality.
I think our years were the years, to be honest. I do.
You think so? I miss the 80s. The 80s, I think, were the best. The 80s were brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be a teenager now. Hell no.
No.
Everybody's so uptight and so PC. It's disgusting. Sorry.
Oh, I had some smart ass say to me one time.
Dumbasses.
When I told them about how old I was, said, "You lived through the '80s," and they were fucking serious when they said it. Like, dude, it wasn't like the '80s was a time. Fuck. They made me feel like a fossil when they said it.
But that's the kids nowadays. I mean, I seen a wee boy the other day there. He was walking past my house, and his mother was pushing a push chair, and the kid must have been about what, 3, even 3, and he had an iPad in his hand.
Wow.
He was playing with an iPad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's
ridiculous.
We didn't have none of that when we were young. It was all like going out
the
and
speaking spell.
You know, reading bits off of cereal boxes.
I had a Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
but
even then, like
Pac-Man.
even then, I feel like when we were younger, like, because obviously we had the Nintendos, the Super Nintendos, all that stuff, but we would still go out, go to parks, and do crazy stuff. Now, if you like, especially where I'm at, if you walk by a park and it's nice outside, it's empty.
My younger days,
it was a lot safer back then as well. It was a lot safer. You could leave your back doors open and things like that. You know, your kids could play in the garden. There wouldn't be no worries or anything. You know what I mean? But now you can't.
It's kids aren't the same anymore. Where I stay, it's rural, and there's a lot of coal mines. And Mike, you're in West Virginia too. You'll know that's famous for coal mines and stuff.
Not from West Virginia.
You're not from West Virginia?
I live in West Virginia.
Right, you live in New York City.
I am going to reach over across the pond and grab you and shake you.
Where do you stay?
Do you have any idea how insulting that is to say I'm from West Virginia?
Okay, Chris, let me explain. It's a lot like if someone were to call you Irish.
I kind of get it. Right. So where are you from? And where are you from?
I am from the Appalachian. I currently reside in Virginia, not West Virginia.
I must admit that as the Appalachian Mountains are beautiful. Right. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful. They're stunning. I will say that I've been watching a series on YouTube. I don't know what the guy's name is. Don't ask me. And he drives through all the little towns in the Appalachian Mountains.
There's so many towns throughout the mountain chain, especially around the Great Smoky Mountains that are part of the Appalachian Mountain Chain. The Great Smokies are some of my favorite places to go. Well, they used to be some of my favorite places to go because you talk about the weird shit that happens in the mountains. The Great Smokies is just absolutely terrifying in the Great Smokies. So,
what is it, Sherry? Is it what happened to Cryptid there? He disappeared.
I don't know. He keeps dropping on and off. Then his mic keeps turning on and off. I don't know what's going on.
You know what that is? That's the mic effect.
The naked big experience.
He's saying that his internet's really bad or something. He keeps dropping in and out.
I'm telling you,
going to restart his phone.
It's Mike the Naked Bigfoot experience. It's once the spirits get used to him and can trust him. Honestly. So, Mike, what have you been doing today on the farm? Because I noticed you were cooking something on Twitter. That looked really nice.
Well, no, I walked downstairs to make sure my recipe was being followed to the letter. After the uneventful breakfast of the morning, I was determined to have meat this afternoon. So I wandered down.
The goat soup looked nice. I was eyeing that up. What does goat taste like? Mike? Is there any comparisons for people like, or is it's never?
It's like a milder form of venison.
Right.
It's fattier than venison. Our goats are free range, so depending on the time of year that you slaughter the animal is what the meat's going to taste like. If you slaughter them in the spring, it may have a grassy, almost a very grassy flavor to it. When you do it in the winter, it'll have more of an oak taste to the meat, flavor to the meat. But yeah, we slaughter animals twice a year. So,
see, See, I'm rural Scotland, right? I've got a farm up behind me, and they do that. And a lot of youngsters now don't know how to do things like that. I know how to kill a rabbit. I know how to gut a rabbit.
No, they don't.
I was, when you're brought up in the hills like I was, you don't make friends with the animals that the farm animals because they're going to be food at some point. They're going to be fooded at some point. And we use every part of the animal from the rooter to the tutor. We use it all for something. So we don't let anything go to waste.
Yeah, I got an interesting question. You were saying something on Twitter about this conspiracy with farming. What was that you were talking about?
What's that?
What was that? You were talking about this conspiracy, some kind of weird conspiracy with farming. What was that you were talking about on Twitter?
Oh, organic farming. I go on these rants against organic farming all the time. It is a conspiracy against me because I always get asked, and whenever anybody asks about, and when the media asks about the farm, well, do you do organic farming? Do you have any part of your farm that you do organic? Do you raise your animals organically? I went, if you mean do I spray everything with poison to kill all the bugs and shit and the weeds, yes, you could call that organic. But no, it's the whole organic movement.
It's a fucking sham.
It is. It's just a money making thing. Because if you go into a grocery store right now or a farmer's market right now, look at the shit that they call organic, like an organic tomato versus a tomato that's raised on an actual farm. And the organic tomato looks fucking anemic. It looks really bad. Yeah. It's much, much smaller. No, and it doesn't taste as good as the other ones.
No.
Sorry.
I've noticed that. I've got a friend, he's got greenhouses and he grows his own tomatoes. I'll buy tomatoes for there's a shop here called Asda, but it's actually owned by Walmart. It's exactly the same, but it's called Asda. And I bought tomatoes out of there one day and I sliced them and they were really big and juicy. But see, when you tasted it, is that there's no taste whatsoever. There was just no taste. But these ones were they were slightly a bit green and red. And he says, try that. And it was beautiful tasting. I do think they do use a lot of chemicals now. They use too many. But I suppose that's just...
I mean, one of the major crops that growing up when members of my family were moving into an extended family were moving out of the hills into the ground around them, one of the major crops they raised for sale was tobacco. And I can't even begin to tell you the chemicals that were used in the field on the tobacco, because you had to go through and pick all that. We used to raise longleaf dark fire tobacco, which is a plant when it's fully grown is about 6.5 feet tall with massive leaves on it. And then whenever you would pull the suckers off, the bloom suckers off of it, you'd have to pour this poison on them to keep them from doing it again. So you'd have to go through and sucker them and douse them with the poison. Well, that poison stays in the plant, of course. And I remember as a kid watching people that my family would hire to come there and help with the farm. They would be covered in poison by the end of the day, smelling with it, sticky with it. So I can't imagine what that did to them later on in their life.
It probably gave them some crazy diseases.
More than that stuff, working in tobacco, because there was very little machinery you could use. Everything had to be done by hand for the most part, except for the actual plants of the baby plants. You could use a tobacco planter for that, but everything had to be done by hand. You had to harvest it by hand, put it on a stick by hand, hang it in the smoking barn by hand, and fire it. Well, smoke it by hand. Had no machines and no way of doing it. It all had to be done by hand.
I will say this: I'm an ex-smoker. I used to smoke, and I used to smoke the filter-tipped ones, the ready-made ones. And I don't know if anybody else here used to smoke. Mike, did you ever smoke?
No, not tobacco.
No. You still smoke the leaf, right? Jerry, you smoke. You smoke.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Dakota, have you ever had a cigarette?
No.
Cigar? When I smoke cigarettes, see the cigarettes, see the ones like Camel or something like that, like a certain make of cigarettes. Did you ever notice how quick they burnt down? And I think that was the chemicals burning. But see, when I moved to cigars, when I moved to like handmade cigars, they take forever to burn down, and they're much better taste. But kids, if you're watching this, don't do it because it's bad for you.
I smoke roll-ups, and I wish I never started smoking it.
Ladies, for those of you contemplating starting to smoke, remember, it'll make your boobs sag a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
It'll cost you an arm and a leg. It'll cost you a fortune.
It does. It costs you a lot of money, and it really does make your health really bad. I've noticed since I've been smoking.
Let's test Mike, right? Let's see how much do you think it costs in the United Kingdom for a packet of 20 cigarettes, Mike?
Do you want me to do it in euros or do you want me to do it in dollars?
Dollars.
Oh God.
I know what it is here. It's probably close to $9 or $10 in Scotland. Much higher,
Sherry,
15.
I seen a packet the other day, then there were £16 for a packet of 20.
Yeah, like for the £16, some of them can be actually higher than that. Some of them are £18, £19. It really does depend on the brand of cigarette. It's really bad. Even Backy's not cheap. Backy's like anything from 13 up to 20 something quid. It's bad.
Yeah. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, when we used to have to take the tobacco to market to sell it, we took it to these very large warehouses after it's smoked, and we pulled it down and stripped the leaves and tied it up into bundles. Again, all hand done. The auctions, tobacco auctions. I remember sitting beside my grandpa during tobacco auctions, and the people, the different representatives from the different tobacco corporations would come through and bid on your tobacco. He always got top dollar because we always had the most amazing tobacco. But watching those guys in those suits come through and buy that tobacco from places like Philip Morris and everything, it was fascinating. It was utterly fascinating.
I bet it was. I mean, I've heard the stories about tobacco, like when it was first found and all that, and it's got no chemicals on it. It totally tastes totally different. It totally tastes different. My grandfather used to grow it in his greenhouse.
It's an amazing. It's an amazing plant. You can't even buy tobacco seeds anymore like you used to.
Well, you can. You can here. You can here.
It's a shame because they would buy 4 ounces of tobacco seed, and that was enough to last for 5 years because tobacco seeds are so tiny, like dust. And that would literally last 4 or 5 years. That was 4 ounces would, because there was so much in them. And it was stored in small metal tins, the seeds were, and you kept them someplace dry. And those are the most precious things that any family would own, would be that be that little box of tobacco seeds. So
I will say this, Mike, but I don't know if it's you, Mike, or that, but can you hear anybody talking?
I was hearing singing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from here.
Is it a lullaby?
No, it's weird.
It has kind of the classical music rhythm to it.
It does, and then I had felt something come up behind me. That's why I spin around a couple of times. I felt like somebody touched my shoulder.
I know, I was watching that, and then all of a sudden it's watching you, then I started hearing it on my
They're coming out to play.
You don't have Mozart haunting you, do you, Mike? You don't have anything that belong to Mozart or anything like that, do you?
No, I know. Although I do, and I do love me some Beethoven, but I haven't lived a lifetime where I pissed any of those people off. So
I'm gonna have to start downloading the individual tracks to everybody's recording.
It's quite interesting because see the show we did last week with Iron City. He sending me clips and he was telling me that there's so many voices. There's so many voices, and I went back and you can hear like little girls speaking, and you can hear like weird. I can hear something.
I can hear like a piano.
Yeah, I know. I reckon I know that song.
It's familiar. It's like a something like, it's really weird.
I played something like this in my trances.
Right, I tell you what, Sherry, Dakota, mute your mics and I'll do my same and see if we can still hear it. But Mike, don't mute your mic. Keep your mic the way it is. Mike, can you unmute your mic? Because I think it's coming for you.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's coming for you.
What a surprise. What a surprise.
It's really strange because I was hearing that in my house. That's why I turned around, because I could hear somebody and hear the music in my house.
I was hearing it when everybody was unmuted.
There is no more noise running about me right now.
There's
nothing.
Well, what, like, do what Mike done and turn your mics off one at a time and see if we can hear it through anybody else's stream. Right, so do decode.
It's coming for Mike. That's so weird. It's cool.
The Naked Bigfoot experiment strikes again.
Is somebody playing a piano?
There's a woman singing with it.
Because I'm hearing, I am hearing singing, and I'm hearing the piano, but I'm hearing it from here as well as in Mike's.
It's honestly gorgeous.
It's definitely a classical song.
I can't hear shit. It's not going on for me at all. I've just been freezing to death all fucking afternoon though, so I am cold as hell.
I think you've got a full opera house round about you right now, Mike.
It wouldn't surprise me. Because the last few shows that I did, all those objects that I drug out,
yeah,
I probably kept them out of quarantine for too long. So, and then I did a ritual on top of that. So
maybe we're being zapped.
It's so weird. I don't know. MD in the chat. Can anybody in the chat hear that?
Do you feel can't you feel any vibration?
Me?
Like I can hear the music, but I can feel like I can hear music and hear a woman singing, but I can hear vibration as well.
Oh,
it's really
weird.
No, it's.
She came to. It sounds like something you would get in the Titanic or something like that. It's weird. It's like.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. It's like quite a.
Did you say Titanic?
Yeah.
Aye.
You know, when you get that scene where you've got the music.
Chris, you want to paint me like your French girls?
Don't give them ideas.
Right, Mike. Only if you want me to take you down to the cargo hold afterwards.
Oh, when I put when I was rearranging stuff to fix up the cabinet that should never be opened.
Yeah.
There was a skeleton key in there, and I don't remember where the fuck that went to. This is an old skeleton key. I have no idea where I picked it up at. So I'm going to have to go back through my journals. It has a number on it, a date on it. So I'm going to have to go back and look at my journals and see what that date was. So
is it one of the keys that are kind of hollow at the front? You know, the ones that I'm talking about?
The ones that have the hollow front that fit through. Yeah, it's one of the old. Yeah. It's one of the old iron keys like that. Yeah. That old, some of the older plantation houses had. I have no idea where the fuck that key came from. So
that is so weird you say that, because see, before you said that, I could see in my head. Again, this is going to sound crazy, guys, but I could see like a plantation house.
Yeah.
Is that where the music's coming from? The plantation house?
Might be the key, because I fondled the key for a while before I put it. I have so much shit in that cabinet.
Yeah. What's going to happen to that when your son's really old, and what will happen?
Hopefully he'll have a child that will be diligent enough to take over it. So
See, there's Raymond G. Newsroom. He can hear a piano.
Yeah. I'm still hearing it now.
See, I have a TV on in here, but it's on mute. And the only thing that's playing on it is Fox News.
Well, I've turned my Amazon device on.
I don't even have a TV.
Yeah, and I've done the same to my Surrey. So,
but it's like the news channel, so there's no music and there's nothing coming out of any of the speakers on it either. So, otherwise, I don't even have my fan on because I'm freezing my balls off right now. I have some of my I have a couple of my ceremonial bracelets in here. My arm cuffs. I'm looking at them now. They are made out of bone.
Human bone.
Human bone. And I've got my tooth collections in here too.
Your what? Your teeth collection?
Oh yeah. Teeth in my faith can be used as charms, and I have quite a collection of teeth. So, individual teeth, but they're not active at all whatsoever. They don't have anything about them that keeps them active. Especially
Raymond, there's Raymond in the room saying that he can hear a vibration.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you. I could hear the music and like a woman singing, and I'm feeling like vibration around me. That's why I was saying, could it be anything trying to connect from the other bit?
I can see a plantation house. It's weird. It's like that. It's like something out of that film Django Unchained. It's like one of the big. You ken the film I'm talking about? It's like one of the big, massive white.
Yep.
Cotton houses.
Do have a speaking mask in here that belonged to Jackie. It's actually a mold of part of her face that she took and made a spirit mask out of. It ain't done nothing for
Jackie?
She's somebody I lost a long time ago. Somebody I lost that led me down a very dark road when I lost her. So.
Oh, right. I know who you're talking about now because you did the live on that.
I really hate looking at that mask. I really should take it down. It makes me sad every time I look at it. So it's got her fingerprint in clay still, so it's really
You didn't play the piano, did you?
No, but she loved classical music.
That's just weird that I could hear a woman singing and classical music.
Before I left her, she gave me. Before I left her behind to go on my big journey that she insisted that I go, she gave me a copy of on vinyl of Bach's The Magnificat in D minor.
Yeah,
and I love Magnificat, and I still have that, and I listen to it and I think about her because she was not a terribly religious person, but she loved that suite of music. I love the Magnificat. Because she said, you always think of how magnificent I am every time you play this. So she had an odd sense of humor.
That is so weird, Mike, and I'll tell you why, because there's Raymond in the newsroom there in the chat. He says, is there someone whispering? And I'm sure just a wee while ago I heard like a woman's voice agreeing with you. You were talking about the tobacco, and it went, yes. It was something like that. It was weird.
Well, I'll tell you something that was always funny, that when I was young and I had already, and it's after my little spirit girl was already with me then, that I would see her dancing amongst the rose and the tobacco, and she would play hide and seek with behind the tobacco plants, and make me laugh. Especially when I was left out in the sun out there forever while the family and the workers were out there. She would entertain me in the tobacco fields. So that was fun.
That is curiosity to see how you did a ceremony the other night. Has anything happened on the farm? Have you noticed anything? Has that creature been back? Or?
It's been very, very quiet. It's been The air has been very, very still. I haven't felt any. It's like all the currents that were passing through the farm and through the house had dried up after that ritual was completed. Everything is very still, completely still, very, very quiet.
Well, hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully nothing fills its place.
We shall see. We shall see. Fuck.
There's whispering. There's whispering.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the mic effect. Do you know that? I think it's something that's wanting to talk to you, Mike. Honestly, that's what I feel.
Welcome to the show. I always tell my paranormal peeps that they need to record shit when they have me on.
I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen back to this.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling there's going to be.
Well, at least I haven't shut down the show. I haven't knocked you all off the air yet.
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll get hot with lightning there. So, Mike, what's on this week on your show? What are you doing this week on your show?
I may not do anything.
No.
I decided. I may not do anything. I don't have the will to want to do anything this week, but I know that's a bad way of that's a bad thing to say, but I have no will to do anything this week.
Yeah.
I actually had thought about doing something paranormally speaking, and do a live show on how to use an air still, a personal air still, which are available to people that buy off of Amazon, to be able to distill alcohol with, for those who want to do small batches of moonshine in their house. So.
Well, there you go, guys. If you want to learn to make, why don't you make a video on how to make? Why don't you? How to make your own moonshine?
I should. I mean, it's not. It's less science and more of an art form.
Why?
It's making moonshine. It's more art than science. Although there is a lot of science in it, but it's more art than science. So.
Yeah.
And this is the time of year that you really start cranking up the shine because it's not hot, it's not too cold outside. The water's running cold from the creek, so it's easy to ferment and to ferment your mash right now in the woods without it going bad. Mm-hmm. And then do a couple of stripping runs on it to get your alcohol with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched that on TV. It was at Discovery Channel. Was it Moonshiners? But obviously that stuff's just water. I'm no stupid, you know. They wouldn't be allowed to do that. Okay, I mean,
well, they do it. I mean, the really funny thing about the law governing that is that they have to catch you doing it. You can do a video on it, but if they come out here, they have to catch you in the act. They have to catch you doing it.
Yeah.
They have to catch you running the shine, having like gallons of it in your vehicle, transporting it. They have to catch you actually at your still, running your still. They have to catch you at the still's location to be able to arrest you. Now, if you are someplace else and they know it's your still, they can't come and arrest you. Even though they know it's your still, they still can't arrest you. You have to be there when they come to that still for them to arrest you. So the rules of the laws have always worked in our favor when it comes to stuff like that. So that's the reason why the guys on Moonshiners can get away with it, because they've already done all that stuff, because those are shows from the year before they're showing now. So they can't be arrested for that. So because it's already been done, and they can't go back and they can't jump in a time machine and go back and catch them while they're doing it. So
of course, I bet you all over the Appalachians. There's moonshine buried everywhere.
There really, really is, especially in the high Appalachia. There's so much moonshining going on still. The trick with moonshining, especially when you have small towns around you, is paying off the the local police departments. You set up an unwritten contract with them that you'll either give them a very good discount on moonshine, or you'll just give them a few gallons out of your batch, and they'll look the other way. That's one way of staying friendly with them. It even works on a lot of state troopers too, but it doesn't work on any feds whatsoever.
Oh no.
It doesn't work on the feds at all, but it works on the local and state police departments quite well.
The thing I've always wondered, but say you're a large owner, right? You've got a big farm, you own vast land, hills with trees and stuff. The police can't, in theory, go into that, can they? Because that's trespassing. If they go to look at something,
they got to have probable cause to come on your property, especially if it's private property. If it's private property, now they can go over. They can take a helicopter over your property.
Yeah.
And they can use the same equipment they use to detect hot spots where you're growing like marijuana and stuff at, and they can use that heat sensing equipment to find where your still's at. And that's enough for them to get a warrant to come on your property. So,
right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to be doing anything like that, make sure it's underground.
Well, no, the best, you have to learn how to insulate your still site.
No.
You've got to make a building and cover it in. Those fire blankets, the fire department
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you cover everything in those fire blankets, and they can't see shit.
So you need to make a video in that. You really do, Mike.
I just told everybody how to break the law.
I know. And if you want to listen in the FBI or federal services, Mike stays in the North Pole. So that's where he stays from now on. He stays in the North Pole in a shack. You can't miss it. It's next to the North Pole.
Dude, the local police departments around here, they love me. They wouldn't rat me out. They'd protect me.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't say that about some of the landowners around here. They're assholes, like I am. But
you get that, though, didn't you? You get that. Okay, I mean, you get the odd person. So Dakota, what you saying to it? You went all kind of like mystical looking. Cherry, can you hear Dakota?
No, I think he's got something going on.
Dakota, can you hear me? Mike, I think something from your end is possessed him.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I've doubled down on crazy this past week, so I'm not surprised by anything at this point. Fucking heavy ass blankets. Here we go. I'm cold.
You don't get an electric blanket. You don't get an electric blanket.
Oh no, these are quilts that that came from my grandmother and great grandmother. So I still use them. So
like
they're handy.
Quilts. I like the patchwork quilts, the American ones. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
So Dakota, who wants to talk? Let's see who this is. Come on. You get a message from Mike or you get a message for Sherry?
I smell peppers. Like hot peppers.
That's weird. I thought I heard something there. Dakota. Maybe you should ask Mike.
I smelling it too.
I don't smell a thing.
Do you know what? I don't know if you've ever dried peppers before, but I keep smelling dried peppers and lavender. Dried peppers and lavender. I don't have any lavender in this room at all.
Cherry, can you smell it?
I think lavender is funky.
It's like a sweet smell, but then I have had incense on, and I have actually had lavender incense on earlier. So that's really weird. You're saying that. It's like things are being given over to people.
What would that
just
be?
like a really weird, it's not lavender that I'm smelling. It's just a really bizarre, like a sweet earthy smell. It's really weird. I can definitely feel somebody around. Or it's like it's going between screens. It's really weird.
My sense of smelling must be totally gone. I can't smell a thing.
I am wearing blue by Chanel. Only, hey, I'm a brand whore when it comes to certain things. So when it comes to men's fragrances, it has to be Dior, Chanel, or Prada. Won't wear anything else.
You prissy bitch.
I'm sorry. I love those. They produce some of the best shit in the world. Sauvage is one of the best things Dior ever came out with. And I have like a gallon of that shit.
Oh my God. Smell you before you see you.
Oh no, I don't. You only use a little bit of it because it's like skunk piss. It only takes a small amount, and put a little bit on yourself, and it's amazing. Again, it costs a small fortune, but they smell amazing. They say I'm the best smelling person when I go see the doctors. I'm the best smelling person in the waiting room. So.
There you go. It's weird. I can't smell nothing back in here. Like weird noises. Like it's like a static noise. Like Raymond's going on about. It's weird. It's like, it's like that feeling you get when you go to a concert and then you get outside and there's nobody about. The kind of weird kind of tingling effect that you get in your ears. That's what it is. That's what I'm getting.
Is that your spider sense tingling?
I think it is. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it.
Yeah, I've been feeling it since I've come on the stream.
Oh, I also have a weird bell too that I found. It's a copper and which is an unusual combination. It's a copper and porcelain bell that was in that cabinet too that I almost forgot about. I need to research that too to see where the hell I got that copper and porcelain bell at. I pulled that out.
I'm getting a ringing in my ears now. Like, like the tinnitus or whatever it's called. I'm getting that now. Constant tone.
Something was serious about that bell because I put it in. It's a type of salt. It's called the Tears of the Prophet, and I had it partially buried in Tears of the Prophet salt. Apparently, I thought that needed to be put in that because that's a serious binding thing. So I need to research that bell, see what was special about that bell.
Dakota, you feeling anything else?
I've been digging in that damn cabinet more lately. I need to stay out of that thing, taking shit out.
Maybe it's making you take stuff out and you're forgetting that you're taking the stuff out.
You know how I made the joke back on one of the shows about it being Friday the 13th, the series? I swear to God, that's what it feels like with that damn cabinet now. Because every time I go in there, I find something I forgot about. And weird shit. Now I do have I have 6 teeth from a gray wolf. I know where I got those at. I got those in Washington State. They were charms that were given to me by one of the local tribes. But I don't know why I stored them in there. So I can't remember why I stored them in the cabinet.
I'm getting to tell you something new. I'm getting a right weird feeling like somebody's just walked right over my grave. You know the feeling I'm talking about? All the hairs in the back of my neck have just stood up. It is really weird. It's as if I'm being watched. It's no me, it's being watched. It's you, it's being watched. It's weird. There's something watching us.
It's like something covered in ice just stepped on your shadow.
Yeah.
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 I got that. I've got many a story that involved that. It usually means something naughty is trying to fuck with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not interested. Go and visit Mike. He'll give you a night. He'll go and visit you. Visit Mike in the night. He'll, or Sherry. There's Sherry.
Yeah, no, don't be putting it on to me. I think I've had enough of energies on it. I already feel something.
It's weird. I feel like it's spiritual, but it's not spiritual. And then I feel like it's an alien, but it's no alien. It's something old. It's weird.
Yeah, it's not new.
I'll tell you, I had the same feeling that night that Mike was doing that thing that you were doing with the weird blood and that. It was weird. It was as if it was something that's been here before the world's been here. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like it's something really, really old. Elemental, Raymond. No, it's something
non-human.
Yeah, non-human. No, it existed before the Earth existed. That's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm. And
been experienced that.
I don't know. It's got an interest. It's got an interest in somebody in here. I don't know who it is, but it's watching them. It's weird. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've got to look forward to when Mike comes on, and Sherry and Dakota. These strange things happen, you know. I
always apologize to people early when they have me on their show for the first time. I always say I'm sorry for whatever may happen.
I don't think it's bad. It's not bad. It's just curious. That's all. That's what that is.
I just see loads of different like different colours. It's really weird.
Curiosity.
I actually can't keep my eyes still because there's so many colours coming at me. I can't keep my eyes still. I'm literally like it's weird.
It's weird. It's no bad. Whatever it is, it's old.
It's not. No, it's really not negative. Old. But it's very powerful.
I wouldn't like to get on it. I wouldn't like to annoy it. I wouldn't like to annoy it. Whatever it is.
No.
It respects us, but it looks as us as
Dakota is doing something because his eyes are in his head.
Yeah, I don't feel a buildup of nastiness like it did.
No, there isn't.
Well, for those who have never been, just to drop the name of another show, a guy named Mike. He runs a show on YouTube called Super Horror Show, where he does his animations, and he was doing an interview show, and he had me on, and I warned him behind the scenes. I said, dude, just to let you know, today's been one of those days. And what ended up happening was his whole house got shut down. And he freaked out. I warned him.
That's right. I was listening to that episode and he had nothing but bothered with the internet and stuff.
He flipped out and I felt bad for him. But he said he had never been more excited in his life to have that happen. He says, I've seen this happen on the Discovery Channel to people, and I would always say it was bullshit. Now it's happened to me, and I don't think it's bullshit anymore. He said, what happened in my house is not supposed to ever be able to happen. Okay. I felt for him, but I was happy that at the end of the day, he was happy with it. So he got to experience something interesting that didn't kill him or anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good effects come for you, Mike. I mean, I've not been chased in my dreams yet with you in a cloak. I'm still waiting for that.
I do have some. I do have several sets of robes from my chanting days. Around
oh my god!
So yeah.
Oh god! Oh god! I'll be having a dream tonight. I'll be lying sleeping tonight. I'll be having a lovely dream about walking across a meadow, and then all of a sudden I'll see you standing there with your clogs on and your robe.
When I got married, when I married my current wife before we had kids, we'd have a huge Halloween party every year. Yeah, it was an adult costume party, and it had a theme every year that went with it. And I would not show up to the party until the stroke of midnight. We had a big black chair that sat in the middle of the room where we had the party in. And at the stroke of midnight, I would always come out of wherever I was, wearing my robes, dressed and had my makeup on, dressed as death. And I'd come out at midnight to greet everybody at the stroke of midnight, and bless the party. And that's when the party really got started.
Oh my God!
But I would come out and sit in that chair, and I would bless the party. Everybody looked forward to it every year. They would look at their watches and wait. And my wife would. We had a huge, which I have no idea where it is. It was a gong that she would start hitting to let me know it was time to come out. So we had so much fun back then.
Well, you should do it this Halloween. You should come out with your big robo and float across the flare.
It's one thing dressing up as death. It's another thing being death. So.
I wonder what's happening with Dakota there, Mike, because he seems to be away somewhere. What's your thoughts?
Dakota.
He's deep where he is.
Nishna.
No, it's no what we think it is. It's something else. It's strange. I don't think it's bad. It's just curious, and it's got that kind of feel. It's
not bad.
I respect it 100%. I respect it. I would never ever question it, whatever it is. Hear that? There's a voice there.
I had talking from this end, but that was my guy saying to say Mishnah to him.
So I heard a little girl there. Just giggling.
Well, Mike's got a little girl, and I've got several little girls because of my dolls, so it could be. They're all very,
do you know something?
Heard on the camera.
Whatever this thing is, it's like Mike's little girl. It's really old. It's not a little girl. It's something. In fact, it might be Mike's little girl. It's something that should be respected. That's what I'm going to say. I don't know where that came from. And it's something that should be respected. That's what I'm saying.
An energy of an elder.
Oh, I wouldn't like to piss it off. I don't think you could piss it off. I think it looks at us like ants. That's weird. Can you feel anything, Mike? Do you feel...
Nothing usually touches me anymore unless I ask it to, because I have a very negative reaction to things touching me nowadays. So,
yeah. I think, Dakota, it's time you snapped out of it. Whatever it is.
Dakota.
Okay. And it's no alien.
I'm still freezing my balls off right now. It's cold as fuck.
Dakota, can you hear my voice? Dakota, come back to my voice. It's Sherry. I asked that the energy that is with Dakota, that you step back and that Dakota come back to here. Dakota, follow my voice.
I just farted. It stinks really bad too. I don't know what it is, but oh god.
That's what it is. It's the thing from beyond the veil. It's coming for you, Mike. It's going to take you away.
Just out of my ass. I am not a fan of my own brand. Oh God. Oof.
Too much goat soup.
Yeah, I think so. It smells like goat ass right now. It reeks in here. I might have to turn the fan on, which means I'll be freezing even more. God damn it.
Dakota's writing something. Do you notice that?
If I don't hit myself first.
If anybody in the chat experiences anything tonight, please leave a comment below. If they've heard or seen or experienced anything, because I have noticed when I go to Mike's lives and stuff like that, you do get some side effects.
Sometimes you get explosive diarrhea from watching my show.
The only dreams I've had is weird dreams of you, Mike, just standing looking at me. And I'm like, I wave to you and then I wake up.
That is like the most ominous thing you could ever see in a dream. Is somebody just looking at you in a dream and not speaking to you.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you ever want to happen to you in a dream.
So if you start talking to me, I have to run away.
If I'm not speaking to you in a dream, you might want to consider, waking the fuck up.
Oh, God. Are you okay, Dakota? Where were you?
Not sure.
I think we should end the show now anyway, because there's a weird energy. I think Mike can feel it. Sherry can feel it. It's weird.
I've got like a head. I've got like a headache. Like a slight
I
headache.
had a headache. It's curious. That's what it is. It's curious.
I am going to disconnect because I have a feeling that I'm fucking everybody up tonight. So,
well, Mike, thank you for coming on. And thank you, Mike, for coming on. By the way,
Thank you, Mike.
Do you want to end the show now, Dakota? Will I play the trailer and end the show, because I think
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another amazing episode, and thank you, Chris Stoughton, for coming on board. Visit baldandbonkers.net to learn more about all of our shows and upcoming projects. October is going to be a huge month in order to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up. Oh, and by the way, say happy birthday to Christopher Mull, who turns 41.